How's it going, guys and gals? My name is Sergeant Beckett, and welcome back to Sergeant Beckett's podcast, my podcast, in which myself and my, in this case, guest, talk about anything and everything to do with the topic for that episode chosen by me, the host. Today, I am joined by one of my good friends, Jed.
Hello there.
Pouring himself a lovely cup of coffee from his Doctor Who coffee holder to his Star Trek mug.
Dr. Teapot, Star Trek mug, and Star Wars out. I have all the fandoms.
Cool. And so, before we get into this, how is you? How are you doing? How have you been? What have you been up to since the last time we met? Well, talk to you. I gather lots.
Just let me think. Released the novel. That was fun.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a lot of the stuff that I do, and a lot of the stuff that one of the reasons why myself and Sergeant Beckett met was because I do fan stuff. So I do stuff on TikTok, cosplay stuff on TikTok. I do fan audios, fan films, all that nonsense. But when I'm not doing fan stuff, I should really focus more on my original work, because I'm a self-published novelist, so I should really focus more on doing that. And for the last few months, I've actually been doing really well, focusing on that. Like I've barely done any fan stuff, because since the middle of February, I've been focused completely on finishing the editing on a novel, getting that out there, getting that ready to go out. So that particular novel took me about a year and a half to write. There's a whole long, boring story about that, which is not the topic of this video. But
wow.
I'm just glad. I'm just glad that it's out there. I'm
glad it's done out there.
Yeah, I know, and I'm glad that I now get to think about. I now get to think about the next 90,000 to 120,000 novel that I have to write. No, because the novel I just released is 115,000 words long. Then I've got my preview copy lying. I've got my preview copy! Hey, I've got my preview copy right here. I wrote surprisingly thin for 115,000 words.
Yeah.
It's quite tall, so,
Well,
but yeah.
For any of you at home, for anyone watching the video who's interested in going that, I will leave a link to the Amazon thing where it is in the description. So if you want to go have a bite and check it out, then go on and do so.
Indeed. Although I should point out, if any of you all are watching this because you like Star Trek, you'd probably be more interested in my sci-fi books than the book I just released, because the book I just released is high fantasy versus superheroes. But well, I do
to be honest, my channel isn't purely just Star Trek and sci-fi. It's as I was talking to a friend yesterday, it's a majority of different things, which probably makes it hard for YouTube to put my channel out to the way it likes to certain individuals who like certain types of content, because I do a range of different stuff.
I mean, I've seen a lot of people leave, I guess in the nicest possible way, I've seen people leave arsey comments on your channel, which is no, he'll make whatever videos he wants to make. Jesus Christ, leave him alone.
I think there are a few ones that I get. A lot of them have come from the Kanzuk video I did, but that's understandable. Because politics and, well, yeah.
Politics is always a fun topic to cover.
But there's a few. There's one guy that comes back every now and then to do the comment, and he's either being genuine or he's just having a mess around, because he's someone I actually knew from secondary school.
Mm-hmm.
And I've sort of, well, even after I left, I sort of steady contact with him a little bit. So either he's just being one of those, being a bit, having a bit of a laugh and stuff, and going, oh, this thing's shit and stuff, or no, I'm not too sure, but I'm aware that there are people that have done that. But to be honest, if you're gonna aim to be an internet personality, or get big on the internet and do stuff like what I tend to do, then well, it's gonna happen. You're gonna get people that are like, you're a dick, you're an asshole, you crap.
Unfortunately, I mean, this is it though. I've had people from secondary school and stuff who used to leave nasty comments, not on my videos, thank God, but on my Facebook and stuff. and I blocked those people because I don't have time for that shit. Especially like you don't have time for that shit when you're like in your early 20s and you want to get away from that stuff. I'm now 30. If I ever had time for that shit, I don't now. So, like, you know, you're young, you'll figure out in the next few years, you'll figure out, oh yeah, I have a life, I don't have time for your shit, and you'll get rid of it. It just happened.
Cool. Well, with that little bit of a pre-topic chat, it was nice. I'm gonna get into the main topic. So, if you may have not already, so if you've clicked on this video without looking at the the title of this video, then I congratulate you. And you have no idea what this topic is about.
That would be a good one right there. Hey, here's the video. To click on the video without managing to see the title of it. I mean, I realise there are people who are like nearsighted or blind who go on YouTube. So to those people, we're not including you in that.
No.
Okay.
It's funny because like I have said in the past, like I haven't when I introduce stuff, I have said. So if you manage to click onto this video without seeing the thumbnail or the title, but yeah, so if you have clicked on this thing without seeing the title, then today's topic is Star Trek. If I haven't already mentioned that already, which I probably don't think I have. But oh well, if I have, then oh well, who cares? Not me. So the reason why I've chosen this today is because firstly, one reason is because I kind of touched upon in episode 1, sort of towards the end of it when I was talking about Star Trek and Doctor Who, then I think it was when I was watching that was it. I was watching have you seen the Star Trek Picard Season 3 trailer? That'll be a yes then.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Okay, so you've seen it then. But yeah, so I was watching a review of that from someone, and after I'd finished, he started talking about basically how he thinks, like the thing I've heard many times, how he thinks I think in short terms, I might be wrong on this, but this because I saw this a few days ago, that basically he thought Discovery was kind of crap and stuff, and all the reasons why he thought it wasn't everything else, and all the reasons why he can't get with New Trek and stuff, and I was thinking all my responses, my response opinions in my head, and I was like, I need to put this into an actual podcast episode. And so obviously I thought, well, who do I do that? Who do I do it with? And then obviously Jed came into mind, so I was like, okay, let's do a thing with Jed. So here we are doing this with Jed.
Hello there.
So, hello there. So then, actually to kick things off, seeing as I've mentioned it. So, what have you been keeping up with Picard Season 2?
I haven't had time. I haven't had time really. Oh no, okay. So I watched episode 1 and I watched bits of 2.
Yeah.
And okay, I'm gonna have to preface this one by saying that if you're watching this hoping that because he likes Discovery and Picard and stuff that I will, no, not really. Me and New Trek have a love-hate relationship. Some love, some hate. So yeah, I'm gonna do my best to remember the audience that I'm talking with. But I'm not going to shy away from the fact that I hated Picard Season 1. Like, I despised Picard Season 1. Like everything that you could possibly have done wrong, bringing Captain Picard back for the 21st century, they did wrong somehow, as far as I'm concerned, for Picard Season 1. And then Picard Season 2 happens, and it's like, okay, here's a checklist of everything Jed thought was wrong with Season 1. Let's check it all off and fix it. So, Starfleet ships, check. Classic Starfleet ships from the actual the Next Generation era, check. Alright? Characters back in Starfleet with uniforms and stuff, check. The uniforms look really cool, check. Picard in Starfleet, check. The frickin' Borg, check. Just every single thing that they could have done right with that first episode, they did right. Like everything. Like in the space of a minute. Like if you had just ignored Star Trek Picard Season 1 and just jumped straight in with this as how Star Trek Picard should be, I would have been like, oh Oh! You know, this just yes. I'm not being very eloquent here. The point is, like it literally though. Like I okay, am I allowed to swear?
Yep, you go ahead and do it, mate. Go ahead and do it.
I hit you not. It literally the checklist of stuff I hated about Star Trek Picard season 1. Just like boom. Just like, but like, and even the thing is, they haven't even changed the characters all that much. But because they're now in a different context, those characters work. Like, here's the thing: Rios, for example, I couldn't stand Rios in season 1, not because it's a brilliant performance, but the thing is, he was just some, you know, Han Solo-esque rogue captain flying a shitty ship around, and he smoked. Okay, so this is the most un-Star Trek character possible that you put into Star Trek. Okay, cool. Except now, even though he's still smoking, somehow the fact that he's in a uniform on the bridge of this shiny new starship, smoking a cigar, now he's got the swagger of a different kind of Starfleet captain, but he's still a Starfleet captain, and you watch that and you think, okay, I can get behind this. This is freaking cool. I like this. I like this a lot. You know, recontextualizing these characters. You know, like Elnor. For what little they've done with Elnor, yes, I know what happens to Elnor. You know, for what little they've done with him, you know, it's like, again, a Romulan in Starfleet. Okay, that's cool. That's really cool. And then, you know, Seven, really hated what they did with Seven in season 1, but again, you know, recontextualized it. She acts more like it's still season 1 of Picard 7, but now there's bits of the actual 7 of 9 we used to know in there as well. You know, like she talks a bit like the 7 of 9 that we used to know as well. I like that. You know, like Raffi. Again, Raffi in Starfleet is a much, you know, better character. You know, it makes me sound really superficial when I say putting these characters back in uniforms and stuff made them more palatable. But part of that, I must admit, is, what's the best way of putting it? When I was watching Picard season 1, I just thought to myself, you could have made this Firefly. Like, literally, you could have made this Firefly. You could have. It's a bunch of characters in a raggedy-ass starship flying about, fighting some generic sci-fi thing of, ooh, synthetic rights. We totally didn't rip this off from the Mass Effect trilogy or Battlestar Galactica. Honest. You know, it's like, okay, cool, whatever. You know, there was nothing about it that said, this has to be Star Trek. And the stuff in it that said, this has to be Star Trek, alright? The stuff in it that was like, this is Star Trek, was stuff they added in at the last minute. Riker. And Riker coming to save the day at the end. That was last minute stuff. They didn't intend initially to have Riker show up at the end to save the day with a fleet of starships. They didn't intend for Riker to even be in the series initially. They added that at the proverbial last minute. Because presumably, somebody sat down, alright, looked up the scripts and the story plan that they had and thought, fuck me, this Star Trek series doesn't have much fucking Star Trek in it, does it? So, you know, like for real, there was so much about it that just felt like this could be any generic space show starring Patrick Stewart as a doddering old failure of a human being, and it would have been the same thing. Whereas now, Patrick Stewart is once again, he's Admiral Picard, and Admiral Picard is doing Admiral Picard things. He's giving a speech as the Commandant of Starfleet Academy. Oh my god. That in and of itself is like, that makes sense because he was offered that once and it totally fits with the character. You know? Just everything fits. And it's Star Trek-y. There's a lot of okay. One could get really in depth on why that's happened and why that works. But I talk a lot, so it's probably best that I let Steph talk on his own podcast.
I was gonna say that. For those of you who are new to the channel and stuff and don't really know me that well,
he does talk.
The way I look at TV shows is a lot different than Jed does. So as you could have just seen, Jed is able to watch a TV show or movie and go into deep depth about how all these different things should work and what they should happen and everything else. I'm much more simple. When I look at TV, so for example, I will take Picard, and likewise I will take Discovery, every single season of Discovery. I've enjoyed, without falter, every single season of Discovery, and so far, every single season of Picard. And I will explain why. I have a very surface level attention sort of detail thing when it comes to watching TV shows. This is my criteria. If it sounds funny, looks cool, it's good. It's a good show in my opinion. I'm very surface level.
And okay, so there will be people out there, presuming that this gets the sort of neckbeard audience that occasionally logs on to these sorts of things. And I love you, kids. I'm one of you at heart, even if my beard is sadly trimmed these days. There is nothing wrong whatsoever with a surface level appreciation of stuff, and in a lot of ways, I'd rather have the fact that I look at these things and I see all these problems with it, it prevents me from enjoying it. And when it comes down to it, I would rather enjoy things than not enjoy things, and it's only the fact that I have the incessant ability to deep dive on shit that prevents me from really enjoying it. That, and I'm just a moody arsehole because I'm 30 and I'm old. but no. So there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with a surface level appreciation of things. And to be honest, on a surface level, all right, Picard's all right. You know, Picard season 1 was pretty damn good. Discovery, I have a more mixed relationship with Discovery, because Discovery is one of those weird ones where I have two major problems with Discovery and one less major problem with Discovery.
Okay.
My two major problems with Discovery are I can't stand half the characters, and the damn thing can't make its mind up what it wants to be. And to be fair, Picard has this exact same problem. You watch Star Trek DS9, or you watch Star Trek The Next Generation, or you watch Star Trek Voyager, and you watch 3 seasons of it in a row, and you will have 3 seasons of the same. It's telling the same sort of stories, you know. It's consistent. The same cast members. It's got the same, you know, general direction. Okay? Star Trek Discovery Season 1 is a grim war story that deep dives into Nazism halfway through because it just can't help but go to the mirror universe in its first season. Star Trek Discovery Season 2 is schlocky Terminator with Captain Pike. And I mean that without wishing to be too, dismissive of it, but it is basically evil AI from the future. Evil AI from the future! We gotta fight the evil AI from the future! And it's got Captain Pike, which is its chief saving grace in a lot of respects. Now, Star Trek Discovery Season 3 is, let's just do Andromeda! Let's do Andromeda! Let's do Andromeda! It's the future, and the Federation's been destroyed, so let's rebuild it! And I haven't seen Discovery Season 4, because Discovery Season 4, the short version is, I don't pirate, and Discovery Season 4 is only available on this service that doesn't let you stream it in the UK, because they killed the Netflix deal stone dead, days before it was meant to come out. Because fuck you, international audience! Fuck you! So yeah, the thing...
sorry. Go on.
No, but so my problem, those are my two major problems with Discovery. My minor problem with Discovery is it's set in the fucking 23rd century and it looks like it's set in the 25th. The design ethos of it is just, let's look at everything that the original series was doing with its designs and its ships and its uniforms and its aesthetic, and let's do the complete opposite of all of that. Because even though we're set in a time period where it's all supposed to look one way, fuck that. And the thing is, I get the ethos of let's modernize it for the modern audience, because 4K cameras, modern audience expectations, all that bollocks. But I will die on the hill of the original series designs if rendered with modern materials, and just tweaked ever so slightly. The original series aesthetics would have worked brilliantly. And it would have made it look like Discovery Season 1. I have a lot of fondness for a lot of parts of Discovery Season 1. But there's so much of it that just reads like we're wanting to make Mass Effect, we're wanting to make The Expanse, we're wanting to make traditional, dark, gritty science fiction for the modern day. And it's like, And yeah, no, that looks really cool. It's really cool, and it's really modern day, and clearly it's been successful enough that they've been able to renew it constantly for like the last 3 years. But like, with the greatest of respect, the first time that Star Trek Discovery looked like Star Trek was for like one episode in Discovery Season 2 when Pike and his crew beamed on with the colourful uniform. And then the same blue jumpsuit the rest of them were in. And then you had the Enterprise at the end of it, which sort of looked okay on the inside, and it sort of looked okay with the bridge, but didn't quite look right, but it looked fine. You know, it finally started looking more like Star Trek. And then you've got Discovery Season 3, where where we don't even have Starfleet for half of it, and when we do, they're in these grey uniforms that look like motion picture rejects. And finally, you've got Discovery Season 4, where they finally given the crew of the Discovery nice, colourful uniforms. Took them long enough. But, yeah, no. So, yeah. Alright, I should probably let you speak on your podcast, shouldn't I?
No, it's fine. This is whatever you have to say, just go on and say it, to be honest. That's what this thing is, to be honest. I don't get who talks. If you have something to say, go on and fucking say it. But, I was gonna, cause I don't know if you know this, but did you know that, because obviously you mentioned about Discovery and, not streaming in the UK. Did you know it was on Pluto TV?
Yeah, but it was on Pluto TV at specific times. And bluntly, that is an incredibly outdated way of showing stuff. Like an incredibly, like, the thing is, we now live in the age where I can sit down and watch whatever the hell I want, whenever the hell I want to watch it. And that is, honestly, the reason that's happened is modern life is so hectic that it just has to be that way, for people's convenience, right? Like, look at Disney Plus and the fact that everything comes on at 8:30 in the morning stat. Everything that's going to be on that day is on that day from 8:30 in the morning stat, like Moon Knight. Yeah? That's incredibly convenient because I get to sit down and watch that. You know, like I get to put that on in my lunch hour at work, for example. You know, to have something to have, especially for a show that the first 3 seasons of it were the same way. They were streamed from the early morning on Netflix. To go to a model where you can only watch it at this set time, you can only watch it in this set place, and you can only watch it, you know, for the set period of time, and then it's over. That's regressive, and you can tell it was a stopgap measure, a really quick stopgap measure, and the fact that for days they were posting on Star Trek Twitter, oh, come and join us on this journey, and every comment they were getting, whether from US audiences or from the international audiences, was, we can't come and enjoy it because you've fucking done this. That's an incredible bad thing. But I felt really sorry for whoever had to run Star Trek Twitter. I even commented, look, I get it, Star Trek Twitter person, it's not your call, you just have to put this stuff out there, but this is fucking bad. This is bad. You know. Yeah. I mean, obviously they're launching Paramount Plus over here at some point. Clearly,
sometime, yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to launch it in time for Strange New Worlds. They should launch it in time for Strange New Worlds. That would be a really great way of pushing a new platform, to launch it over here in time for Strange New Worlds. They're not going to. We'll be lucky if we get it in October. But, you know, I downloaded. I have to admit, I did download Pluto TV, and I thought, do I actually want to make time to watch Discovery Season 4 at the set times that it's on? And then I thought to myself, have I enjoyed Discovery Season 1 enough to actually do that? And the thing is, even though I really loved, it's like with Picard Season 2. Even though I really loved Picard Season 2. Sorry, even though I loved Picard Season 2's opener, because I didn't enjoy Picard Season 1, even though Picard Season 2's opener is a massive improvement, I've yet to find the time to sit down and watch Season 2. Because, again, you know, it's lost a little bit of the charm, and it's lost a little bit of the prestige of, I will sit down and make time to watch this. You know, it's the same with a lot of stuff. It's the same with, anyway, I'm not here to complain about every single thing that I hate about modern TV. So, short version, I knew it was on Pluto. I never made time to watch it on Pluto, because that's an outdated way of making people watch something, especially when that audience has been used to watching streaming.
Yeah. must say, because with that, I was I remember because I was in college because I think from memory it would always, but when it was on Netflix, I'd always do a thing of I would always watch it after I got home from college or something like that, and on a Friday. And so I remember I was sat in college on the computer reading up about Star Trek, the new series and stuff. I was ready to start. I was ready, and I'm just scrolling through Facebook on the computer before lessons get started. And all of a sudden, I see this linked article which is titled Discovery pulled from Netflix. I'm like, sorry, what? I go on it, and then I read the whole thing about how the license has been like closed and stuff on Netflix, and I'm like, the fuck? And I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I would have been as pissed as I would have been if they hadn't said at the end of Discovery Season 3, that it was gonna come back onto Netflix. So I remember, like, after the season 4 ended, they were saying, oh, it will return on Netflix next year on this day, it'll be all good and stuff. They said it wasn't gonna return, it was gonna return on a different platform. Yes, I still would have been pissed, but I would have been like, okay, that's cool. But it's like they said that like, well, I read that like 3 days or so before it aired, and I was like, well, no. I read it on the day, but it was announced that it was happening 3 days before that. I was like, what the fuck?
I believe a lot of people were equally pissed off about it.
Yeah. I know, because I was reading all the Twitter things and the articles and all the Facebook things. Yeah.
They didn't tell the actors. The actors went to Europe.
That's what I was surprised about as well.
They went to European Star Trek conventions, these poor actors, to promote this new series of their work. And then they pulled shit like a lot of people were like, oh, well, maybe it's not Paramount's fault, maybe it's Netflix's fault. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck whose fault it is. Alright? Something catastrophic happened. Alright? And they pulled it from fucking Netflix 3 days before it was meant to be on fucking Netflix. Bullshit. I don't care who you say whose fault it is. Some fuckers done fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, it's not good. It's not good. It's not right.
But I was just excited. I do remember seeing I really do remember. I was most surprised when I saw that apparently not even the cast or any of the one that worked actually on the show knew about it. I was like, holy shit, because I was reading all the cast's Twitter like, are you good there? Yeah.
So I live in a city which has quite hard water, so every so often I get lime scale in my coffee water.
Ah, lovely.
No, this is it. Like, I say this in the nicest. Okay, you are plugged in. Don't tell me you're not plugged in. Sorry, my laptop is convinced that it's not plugged in. It would be fine, except that my laptop is plugged in. So something there is clearly amiss. Okay. There. Do you think you're plugged in now? Think you're plugged in now? If you don't think you're plugged in now, I don't know what I'm going to tell you, mate. Not plugged in. Sorry out there, everybody. This is what we call technical issues. Okay, 10% left, battery saver on. Okay, that's not good. Why are you doing that? Sorry. So you were saying?
No, that's just. I'll say I was mostly shocked when I saw that. I was just looking through the different tweets and like comments from people, from like the actors and the people and the producers, who were just all surprised with me. And I was like, oh my god, even they didn't fucking know.
You know, somebody messed up.
Yeah. I've actually made. I haven't actually said on video or anything, but I've actually because obviously we got the release of Strange New Worlds, and I'm not gonna lie, I very much adored Pike as Anson Mount as Pike in season 2 Discovery. So when I saw that it was gonna Paramount Plus was coming to UK in the summertime, and obviously Strange New Worlds will be streaming around then. I was like, I don't care if it costs a buttload. I'm fucking getting the service and I'm watching it.
Absolutely fair. Absolutely fair.
Because there's also slightly off topic. There's also there's a few other series that are on Netflix, but only the first few seasons of the shows are on Netflix, and they have other series, but they're not on there. Those two shows being Young Sheldon and CBS's SWAT.
Ah.
And yeah.
Well, they're going to be on Paramount Plus as well.
I believe so. Yes. Well, SWAT. I've searched up for SWAT before, and that's on I've seen like I've searched up SWAT before, and I've seen that when I click on the link to watch it, it's got like CBS All Access or Paramount Plus on it. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll watch that. But I do also believe, because I think it's obviously Young Sheldon's a sort of spin-off from the Big Bang Theory. I believe that was made by CBS, but I could be wrong.
I presume so, since they'd have the right.
I think, but it just to me it makes sense that that series will also be on there. So I'm like, yeah. Yeah. Well, that's something I was wondering earlier. Because I mean, even though you said it, like, so what do you so obviously earlier you said you quite like the well, I assume you said it this way. You quite fond of the new just Picard season 2 uniforms for the season 2 thing. I'm not gonna lie, I'm also very fond of them myself, and I've been constantly waiting for people to make them and put them on eBay so I can buy one. And for Star Trek to also do it as well.
They've done the cadet uniform, I think.
Yeah, they don't that one. I don't give a shit about that one. I don't care about that one. I want the main duties one. I want the main one. That's me because I just love the whole like sort of Wrath of Khan side parting design. Hence my custom Odyssey dress uniform.
Oh yeah.
But
I'm sending you a link now. Somebody's done it. Somebody's done it. You're getting, yeah.
Say cool. I will look at that later. So let me think.
No, yeah, I really love that uniform because okay. Firstly, I love that uniform because, like you, I quite like the Wrath of Khan thing, but also it's kind of all good thingsy.
Yeah.
In a way, and it's double-breasted, so it's like, so they're actually making it more like it's supposed to be. Yeah.
That's a good point. Actually, I was going to mention. So I was a bit of a. I was just doing some thinking in my head about possible episodes I could do for the Morningstar series, and I remembered that I had this. I've created a ship in Star Trek Online, which has which comes inspired from the Expanse. It's an Nova-class ship, which I've called the Rocinante.
What?
The Rocinante.
Oh, okay.
Basically the main ship from the Expanse, and basically, I liked it so much. I liked the ship I made so much that I'm like, I kind of want to feature it in my series now. So I did that, and I've just because also I know you got that whole fleets and orgs document sheet thing that you put like all these different fleets in with all these different uniforms. And I thought, what have I done? Oh yeah, and that's why that I put this new captain in 9th Fleet with that Picard Season 2 uniform.
Good shout.
Just thought I'd let you know so you're aware, just in case I don't tell you and you end up making a 9th Fleet with a different uniform. Like, shit.
I can't remember what I put on the 9th Fleet. Okay, I'm gonna.
I don't think there was one. I don't think you did put a 9th Fleet in there.
I am
looked through
going
it
to.
and made sure that I picked a fleet that that you didn't already create.
I am going to double check this. Fleets. Yeah, so one of my main things that I do is I like uniforms and ships, and because I like uniforms and ships so much, there is not a 9th fleet listed. So go nuts. 9th fleet, Picard S2 uniform.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Listed. So yeah. No, I like ships and I like uniforms. It's one of the reasons why I like season 2, because you immediately have like ships and uniforms and stuff. And yeah, one of the things that I did was basically this was because okay, how best to explain this? Basically, Sergeant Beckett included my TikTok Star Trek OC in his series. But my Star Trek OC wears the Picard Season 1 uniform, or a variant of the Picard Season 1 uniform. And his OC obviously wears Odyssey dress uniform. So we had to explain what the different uniforms for.
Around that, didn't we?
And the reason for that now is because the uniform thing is like
Fleet specific thing.
It's a fleet denoter. And to be honest, it's kind of doing that at the moment.
Yeah.
Because you've got the friggin' Prodigy uniform, which is just for that one ship. You've got the uniform that Admiral Janeway is wearing, which is, a variant of the Lower Decks uniform. You've got the Lower Decks uniform itself, and you've still got the First Contact uniform, and you've also got the uniform from Picard 1. So, there's a lot of uniform shit going on.
I mean,
there's a lot of uniform.
They've also done that but in the past, because obviously, especially I remembered, in DS9 episodes, obviously you had the main DS9 crew who had the Voyager sort of black jumpsuit with the top color thing, and then also you had these for example, Thomas Riker, who came on and Benjamin's friend who then turned to the Marquis, who came in with the Next Generation sort of Picard outfit stuff. So
this is something that they've been doing for a long time. Again. There was a two-parter in DS9 Season 4 where Cisco went to Earth, and the entire time he was on Earth, he was wearing the TNG uniform. So there's definitely precedent, so to speak. Sorry, I'm just wondering if I blew a fuse on the charger for my bloody computer. So. Yeah, no, it's not fun, but if I've blown a fuse, it's fine. I can fix that. But yeah, so it's genuinely interesting. Genuinely interesting that they're sort of carrying on with that.
Okay.
It's also worth noting, bit of a spoiler warning for you. So obviously, anyone keeping up with Star Trek knows that they've cast a new Captain Kirk.
Ah, yes.
He's got a different badge than the Enterprise badge in the set.
I've heard, yes.
So they're back to doing every ship has its own unique patch.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't because obviously I started watching Star Trek when I was introduced to I lie. I started watching the films, but that was when I was young and sort of didn't really understand anything. I just, again, thought it looked cool. But when I started watching it properly and understanding what it was all about, I was at the time watching Next Generation, and I was most of my the good chunk of my young teenage life, I sort of grew up on that shit on that main series, and so I'm just kind of. I grew up on the whole one sort of bad symbol for all different ships, and so when I found out that the different ships had different badges in the original series, I was like, not really a fan, but okay.
I mean, I personally, I love it, and I love the fact that Enterprise sort of had that as well. So Enterprise had different patches on the arms for different services. They had Enterprise had one, Starfleet Command had one, Columbia had one. I liked the fact that they did that. So And then I like the fact that that is very NASA inspired. So like different shuttles and stuff have different service patches, and different Navy ships have that as well. So it's like an evolution from that to the more abstract symbols that you get in the original series, to obviously using all one symbol in the motion picture, apart from that one space that gets featured. But you know, I thought it was really cool. You know, it's not something that I missed per se in TNG, but I thought it was cool in the original series. So it's interesting that they're bringing that back, especially after having had years of Discovery's 23rd Century where they didn't have that. So it's interesting. It's all very interesting. I'm just sort of wondering what they're going to do with Captain Kirk.
It's because I was just wondering. Obviously, I now obviously because you mentioned it, constantly, I know you've obviously seen all like the trailers and stuff and all like the sneak peeks for the Strange New World series. Looking forward to it, I assume. Do you have any picks?
Cautiously optimistic.
Okay.
I mean, like, I like the cast. I really like the cast. I think it's interesting that you've got. You know. Well, basically, we're finally getting, you know, the continuation of the Cage. We're getting Pike #1 and Mr. Spock together. That's interesting, and it's interesting that they're talking about making it an episodic series. You know, and the trailers look really good. I'm not gonna lie, part of me can't help but think, as a geek, I want nothing more than to be able to link up with TOS and to say this is how it slots in perfectly.
Okay.
And they've already fucked that because they had that one short trek where the Enterprise was the Disco Prize and the Enterprise uniforms were the Disco Prize uniforms from Discovery Season 2. So they've already fucked visual continuity, you know, 6 Ways from Sunday, which is a shame because up until a certain point, so there was a novel released when Discovery Season 1 came out, which was the crew of the Senjo meeting the crew of Pike's Enterprise. And in that, it was specified that the Cage uniforms were like the uniforms that were just on the Constitution class starships. And I liked that idea. I really liked that idea because that was like, oh, okay. So it's, again, different services have different uniforms to denote different jobs. I like that. And then, of course, you had that one. Like, you could have easily had it that the Cage uniforms were phased out and the new Disco Prize uniforms were phased in. You could have had that quite easily as like a bit of background information, or just a. But then they did that short trek, which was set beforehand, and it was like, okay, so where does the Cage fit in now? It bothers the fuck out of me. It shouldn't bother the fuck out of me because it's such a minor detail, but the fuck out of me. You know, it bothers the fuck out of me. Like, okay, we've seen the Enterprise be refitted, you know, drastically from one refit to the next. So you could take the Disco Prize, and if you ignore the fact that it's tons bigger than the actual original Enterprise, you could say this is going to be refit into this with no problems. It's in much less drastic change externally than the Enterprise to the refit Enterprise.
Yeah.
It does, like, it bothers my little fanboy heart so much. So, it shouldn't. You know, ideally it shouldn't, but,
So there's a thing I saw on Facebook post. I saw I think it was on one of the trailers that was posted on Facebook for the show. Obviously, you have a shot of the Enterprise like hovering in low orbit, like obviously inside the planet and in the sky, and someone put a comment asking I thought it was kind of interesting. It was, well, someone posted a comment asking like, oh, how does this work? I thought Starfleet ships weren't able to like hover like that low in orbit and stuff and everything else, and they're like asking how this works and everything else and that and whatnot, and then some guy afterwards said, then said, can you not just like enjoy it and not question it? Like, okay, it's like, yeah, it's hovering, doesn't make sense, maybe not make sense, but it's cool, accept it.
Okay. Okay. With apologies to anyone who has ever said that jokingly to annoying neckbeards in the past, I fucking hate it when people say that. Oh, just accept this thing. Don't think about it. No, I will fucking not. No, straight up. I am the dictionary definition of that TikTok. You know that fucking TikTok sound of when that music suddenly kicks in. All right.
I think so, yeah.
This is that moment. I'm like, oh, just accept it. Stop thinking about it. No. I will not fucking unthinkingly accept things just because it's got the name on it, just because it's part of the franchise. I will not unthinkingly accept things just because it's cool. No. Unthinking acceptance of media is bullshit. Alright? Unthinking acceptance just because it's cool, alright? Even if it completely contravenes everything about that series, even if it completely changes everything about that series, even if it makes no fucking sense why that makes sense at all, alright? Especially in science fiction, because science fiction is built, alright? The entire reason you can accept science fiction even as a thing is because it builds a set of rules that it then follows, alright? You cannot be like the J.J. Abrams Star Trek films, where, oh, let's engage at warp, and 2 seconds later we're on the other side of the fucking Federation space. Oh, let's go to warp, and 2 seconds later we're at our destination, even though it should have taken us days. No. Because that breaks suspension of disbelief, and at that point, it's fucking space fantasy. It's not even space fantasy, because even Star Wars, alright, has internal rules of what does and does not work. You know, the whole reason, as a writer, the whole reason that things work is because you build an internal sense of logic and consistency. Now, the thing is, floating starships, like, in the sky doesn't bother me, alright? Because that is something that's actually, it's never specifically said that the original Enterprise cannot hover in atmosphere. It's never said. Never said anywhere by anyone, alright? So, that does not freaking bother me, alright? But to say, oh, just don't think about it, alright? Especially in a condescending, like a lot of these comments that I see from, like, people who like stuff and don't like the fact that other people don't like stuff, a lot of the comments that I see are people who are like, you know, oh, stop thinking about it, oh, stop questioning it, can't you just enjoy things, oh, you're such a misery guts. No, it's not about being a misery guts, it's about not just unthinkingly accepting things even when they don't make sense to the thing that you're watching. You know, I think there's a place for like I would never knock the fact that you enjoy things for the reason that you enjoy things. That's absolutely fine. But the respect that I expect in turn is that when I have problems with stuff, when I point out this doesn't make sense and that doesn't make sense, if your enjoyment of something is not robust enough, alright, to accept that some people will point out the flaws in the thing that you were being presented with, if that will ruin your enjoyment of it, your enjoyment of it is worth shit. Okay? If your enjoyment of something is so fragile that if I point out this thing doesn't make sense, or that thing doesn't make sense, and you will immediately, go, oh, you're ruining it. No, I'm not ruining it, because your enjoyment is based on the superficial levels of it, by all means, alright? But if your enjoyment is based on pretending that these things make sense, then, I'm sorry, you don't enjoy the thing that you're being presented with, you're enjoying some idea of the thing that you're being presented with, alright? It's not the same thing. You say your enjoyment is based on superficial stuff. I have told you before my problems with Star Trek Picard and Star Trek Discovery, and you still enjoy Star Trek Picard and Star Trek Discovery. Your enjoyment is robust enough that you can survive my opinion of it. And my dislike of it is robust enough that I can survive your enjoying it. Alright? Our opinions of these things are robust enough that they can survive other people's different opinions. If your opinion cannot survive somebody else disagreeing with it, your opinion is worth fuck diddly. And I mean that in the, it's the reason you see so many fragile racists and so many fragile homophobes and transphobes and stuff who are so, you know, oh my god, you disagree with me! Oh my god, this thing I don't like exists! You know, and it's the same with people who really, can't stand people enjoying new Star Trek. I don't give a shit if you enjoy new Star Trek. I like the fact that people enjoy new Star Trek. You know? My dislike of it is robust enough to survive people having a different opinion of me. A lot of people can't say the same. A lot of people, get fucking triggered by people enjoying new Star Trek. And I'm like, don't get fucking triggered. Watch stuff you enjoy. I like Lower Decks. I fucking love Lower Decks. Lower Decks is freaking amazing. You know, Lower Decks is everything ironically, it's everything I want in a Star Trek. What the fuck? You know, so, you know, I'm gonna go off and enjoy that and let people who enjoy the stuff I don't enjoy that. You know? Like but like it's like people you know, people who constantly harp on about what's a big one? I have to keep removing tweets on my Twitter feed of people going, you know, oh, people who like The Last Jedi are hot. I wonder what the reason is. Or, you know, if you don't like The Last Jedi, you're an idiot. It's like, clearly, those people's liking of The Last Jedi is not robust enough to survive people who dislike it, because they're having to constantly talk about it. They have to constantly be like, oh, well, if you don't like it, you're this. If you don't like it, you're that. No. How about you like it, and that's good enough for you, and I don't like it, and that's good enough for me, and I won't say shitty things about people who like the thing, and you don't say shitty things about people who dislike the thing, and if anyone asks me, I'll tell them why I don't like it, and if anyone asks you, you'll tell them why you like it, and if you want to have a conversation with me about my reasons for disliking it, and your reasons for liking it, I'll have that conversation. But the minute I see people, like, all over... Like, I unfollowed a guy, a big guy, like a guy who has loads and loads of followers. I unfollowed him on TikTok because he just kept posting videos about, you know, if you don't like The Last Jedi, you're a whiner, or you're this, or you're that, or you're the other. And it's like... No, if you don't like The Last Jedi, you're somebody who looked at The Last Jedi and decided, you know, having watched The Last Jedi, that you don't like The Last Jedi. For whatever reason. Alright? It's nothing to do with your quality as a person. Unless you don't like it because there's minorities in it, in which case you're a shitbag, but that's a separate thing. You know, if you don't like Star Trek Picard, you know, for whatever reason, if you don't like Star Trek Discovery for whatever reason, as long as that reason isn't because there's minorities in it, which is like a fair minority of people like that, it's just idiots. You know, because you've got valid reasons for not liking it, there is no fucking reason to start making shitty comments about people who don't like it. There is no fucking reason to make shitty comments about people who like it. There is no fucking reason for it. And the only reason I see that people make shitty comments about people liking it or not liking it is because people's liking or not liking of the thing is not robust enough to survive other people's opinions existing. And it pisses me off. Because if you like it, and your liking of it is a robust liking of it, that is, you know, based on you watching it and enjoying it for the reasons you enjoy it, the fact that I don't enjoy it, whether because I don't like the reasons that you like it, or whether because my reasons for not enjoying it are completely different than your reasons for enjoying it, regardless, you know, like what you like, but don't turn around and tell me that I'm this or that for not. And I'm not going to turn around and tell you you're this and that for enjoying it. Don't be a dick. Like TLDR, don't be a dick. Sorry, that was a rant. That was a big rant.
That's fine. To be honest, I was gonna ask you in a second because in this thing I've got two subsections in this podcast that I do called rant time and news section. Although I haven't found anything for the news section, because I've made a rule starting that I'll try and find news other than the current Russia-Ukraine war and like interesting news stories. So I did found one time that I used in the last episode, but I couldn't find anything for this one. So yeah, but there is a section which I call rant time, in which anything that pisses, if there's anything recently that pisses you off, or just anything in general that you're annoyed about, you can go on and rant it. But I think you're just gonna do that already.
I preempted your rant time with my own... Oh god, yeah, no. No, but for real, like, it just gets me down because, like, you know, fine, people really like, you know, stuff I don't like. Cool. Liking things is nice. But, you know, I have fairly solid reasons for not liking stuff. And those reasons have yet to be significantly answered, except by people going, oh, well, actually, this thing... No. You think that thing represents that thing. Fine, that's your interpretation of it. You know, going back to when I did English Lit at fucking A level. Your interpretation and my interpretation are completely different. Fine.
It's similar to me, because like, a few things that I'm a fan of, the few things I know that other people are a fan of that I'm not a fan of, that I'm like, man, you like it, that's fine. One massive example of that is, well, those of you who've watched my channel or know me in any way, you'll know that Star Wars and me don't get along. Not a good relationship. And I know that I know that not only Jed here, I know like Star Wars, and also so does my brother. They like Star Wars, and so does my stepmom. She likes Star Wars as well. If they like it, sure, go on ahead. But I'm just gonna you go watch your Star Wars. I will stay clear of that, and I will just let you be you.
This is it.
But,
this is it.
Sorry, go on.
Like, I think. I mean, the thing is, that's absolutely valid. If you don't like it for whatever reason, like I know a lot of Star Trek fans who don't like Star Wars because they just think it's kiddie space fantasy. Fair, okay, you know, it is absolutely, in some respects, kiddie space fantasy. That's absolutely fair. You know, I think you know, the world would be a nicer place if people didn't fight about stuff that they don't like.
Yeah,
you know,
that's yeah. That would be nice. Although I don't think that would be happening anytime soon. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately not.
Yes, indeed. Because I was just gonna ask you as well, because obviously you mentioned earlier. So I assume you are a very avid fan of the original series. Do you like it, or do you like sort of?
I like all the Star Treks up until. Okay, because I grew up on a lot of them.
Yeah.
I have very nostalgia tinted glasses for a lot of the stuff in the original series through to Enterprise. Enterprise not so much. When I was younger, I thought it was a little dull. I started rewatching it around about the time of Discovery Season 2, and I found, oh shit, I really love these characters. That's really cool. You know, so yeah, the original series I have fond memories of watching with my grandmother, actually. But what I love about it, you've not lived until you see a 4-foot-something German woman screaming at a red shirt to fucking fire his phaser. Hilarious.
Fire, damn it, fire! Sorry.
Sad when this young-looking boy got incinerated by the fucking halter, and it's like, okay, that's sad. No, I think, you know, I always rewatch things periodically to see what I like and don't like about them with my, you know, older, more experienced eye.
Yeah.
But generally, the original series is a masterclass in character archetypes more than it is characters. These characters fit their archetypes beautifully, and they really come to define a lot of character relationships going forward.
Yeah.
You know. Brilliant. There's some brilliant performances. William Shatner is a metric fuckton more subtle than people think he is.
Okay.
You watch the original series and you sit there and you suddenly realise William Shatner is a Shakespearean actor. William Shatner is a Canadian Shakespearean actor, every bit as nuanced and subtle as Patrick Stewart at his best. And the difference is literally that Shatner's default, when he got older, was to overact. But you can bring that out of somebody just by a bit of solid direction. The Wrath of Khan, the man is a genius. You watch some of the acting decisions he makes when he's gotten through to the 20th take or something, where he's quiet and subtle, and it's perfect. And Leonard Nimoy is a goddamn genius. And DeForest Kelley, absolute fucking masterclass of playing this, you know, surly Southern doctor in space. In every conceivable, TOS is absolutely the blueprint for space adventure in so many ways, and I absolutely adore it. And I think some of the writing is just a metric ton more subtle and nuanced and beautiful than people these days would ever give it credit for, because obviously there's bright colours and it's a bit okay. Oh, you know, the worst thing I ever hear, right? And I try to have respect for people who say this because, you know, I think it's wrong personally, but there's people who say, oh, I can't stand it because it's old. That's fucking stupid. Realistically, at some point everything you enjoy will be old and it will not match up to the standards of the thing in 30 years. So what? It's made as well as they could have made it at the time with the money that they had, with the technology that they had. Some really genuinely clever stuff that they did. The original Enterprise is the most gorgeous piece of spaceship design ever committed to celluloid. Like, again, it is the blueprint. Every single iteration of a Starfleet ship afterwards has in some way either been the Enterprise, been inspired by the Enterprise, or been a reaction against the Enterprise. It's all an evolution of that one beautiful design by Matt Jeffries. In short, yes, I love TOS.
I only asked because obviously you said mentioned it earlier, but do you like or just what's your opinion on the Discovery Enterprise? Because personally, I sort of do prefer it to the original. That's just me.
Okay. My honest opinion.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what this whole thing's about.
I've seen shots of the original Enterprise lit in the way that ships are lit in Discovery.
Yeah.
Or the amount that they've changed on the Disco Prize, there is no need to have changed it at all. Except because of voice. There is no need. Like, it's not different enough to justify the changes that they've made.
Okay.
Some of the changes are irrelevant. They've shortened the neck somewhat to give it a lower profile. Okay, that makes no difference. They've NXO1'd the nacelles a bit. It makes no real difference. They've given it that really weird negative space in the nacelle pylons. Odd flex, but okay. I don't like the new writing on the Disco. Like, I could go get my models of the original and the Disco Prize right now.
I've got one as well.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, the original Enterprise, there was no need, apart from marketing, to have changed it. It was an artistic decision. No. It wasn't an artistic decision. It was we're modern day designers and we think we're cleverer than the people in the 1960s decision. That's how I read it.
Okay.
You know, especially when you see people like Alex Kurtzman going, there's no way to make it all line up. There is absolutely a way. You just didn't want to. There is a difference. All right? Don't turn around and tell me that fucking fan filmmakers can absolutely 100% recreate the original Enterprise inside and out, and you, with all your multi-millions, couldn't do it. You didn't want to do it because you think you're better than them, or you think that you're cleverer than them, or you think that your designs are better than theirs. That's not the same thing as thinking to yourself, we just can't! It's physically impossible! Alright? For what they've changed. Alright, so if you look at the JJ Prize, I hate the JJ Prize, alright?
Okay.
But the JJ Prize has more reason to exist than the Disco Prize. Because the JJ Prize, they looked at the original Enterprise and thought, we don't want to do that, we want to design a new Enterprise that looks vaguely like the original Enterprise. They wanted a new Enterprise. So they designed a new Enterprise. Alright? Mm-hmm. So, okay, a new Enterprise. As the TOS Enterprise, it's a fucking disaster train. But as an Enterprise, it's okay. It's not brilliant, it's okay. And it's what they wanted to do. But for the Disco Prize, they've not changed enough to justify why they changed it at all. Like, literally, you could take the original model of the Enterprise, put on that hull plating detail that they put on the Disco Prize, like that fancy detailing that they've got, alright?
Yeah.
Like the fancy detailing on the gold dish and stuff, and then boom. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Okay.
That's my take on it. Take on it. Like, if they'd radically changed it, now, bear in mind, I would have fucking hated it because they'd radically changed it, but, you know, if they'd radically changed it, that would ironically have justified the change more. But they didn't radically change it. You know, they're saying this is the same ship. Well, no, if it's the same ship, use the same ship. The changes are not radical enough to justify not changing it. To justify changing it, you know? They're not radical enough to justify changing it. You've literally only done it because you think you're better, or you think for some reason you had to for marketing or something. You know, and frankly, if they had just stuck more detailed hull plating on the original Enterprise design, they would have still been able to market that as a new one.
Okay.
Without stopping that. You know, sorry, a very long-winded explanation of my feelings.
That's fine, no worries. Whilst I'm, because there's based on Starship Designs, there's a post I saw on Facebook. I mean, I've seen it, but it was it's of a. I can't remember if it was the Eagle Moss or not. It was some sort of ship model that someone bought of the USS Cerritos. And in the magazine that came with the ship, it had all the different other designs that were considered for it. Which personally I think a lot of them were in my opinion were a lot better than the one they actually ended up using. And I'm just trying to find what post I was in, but whilst I find that, just interested to know what's your out of the Star Trek films, or all the films that have been, which ones have been your favourite? Excluding, well, okay, excluding, because obviously it's a bit of a different alternate timeline. Excluding the 2009 to Beyond films.
Then it would have still been First Contact. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the Kelvinverse, but for me, First Contact is the perfect blend of Star Trek film and film for people to go watch in the cinema.
Okay.
It's cinematic. It's action-packed. It's exciting. It's engaging. There's a space battle in it that's really freaking cool. But at the time, it's full of the heart of Star Trek philosophy. You know, there are real, genuine things going on in there that are like really cool. You know, there's some really great Star Trek moments in there, alongside really great action movie moments.
Okay.
I think that's really, really cool. You know, I think it's beautifully directed, it's beautifully shot, it's beautifully designed. Everything about it just screams perfection. For me.
Okay.
Like, obviously, other people think differently, but so.
Okay. Right, I found it. Right, okay, so I'm gonna link you the Facebook post in which I found the Cerritos ship designs, and basically tell me if you think that the final Cerritos design was better than any of the ones shown, or if you think some of the ones on the thing were better than the final design. Because personally, there were a few there that I think are much better than what they ended up with. Much better.
Let's see what we got. Do you mean? I really cannot stand the circular warp nacelles.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I don't agree with that either. I don't agree with that either.
Like, okay, so the circular warp nacelles are awful. Some of these are very. I don't know. Without seeing them fully rendered, like some of them look basically like baby Enterprises, which isn't quite what they were going for with the Cerritos. Because obviously, what I like about the Cerritos as a ship design, and the California in general, is it's pug ugly, and it's meant to be pug ugly. It's meant to be this little ship that's like little tugboat of the Federation. Cool, it's a little tugboat of the Federation. That's what we want it to be. You know, that's what it's designed to be. Think as the Federation. It is the little tugboat that could, and that's you know, as an intentional design choice, that works beautifully. You know,
okay.
I think some of these are a bit too, like, some of them are just too cluttered. Some of them are okay. Some of them are too cluttered. Some of them are a bit too baby Enterprise. But I think what you end up with the actual design is a nicely proportioned and balanced version of that sort of tugboat of the Federation thing.
Yeah.
You know, like say this first thing, like right here, this oh God's sake, it's too bright on there. So take this first one.
Oh, that's not good.
That's asymmetrical and ugly as hell. But it's like for television, if it's trying to be ugly, it can't really be ugly. It's got to be symmetrical and pretty, even in its ugliness.
Yeah.
And the actual Cerritos is symmetrical and pretty, even in its ugliness. So, you know, what I really like about it. So, yeah, no, some of these, you got to look at them and think, what the fuck is this one with the cutout saucer and the treadmill nacelles? What the fuck?
Actually, I don't know cutouts.
Oh, let me just turn the bloody brightness down again. like that fellow with the treadmill nacelles.
Yeah.
What is that? What the fuck? Like, I'm so glad they didn't go for that, because that would have just been like, the fuck am I looking at?
I mean,
what
like, with some of these, like, I agree that some of that's like the big circle in the cells are a bit stupid. But I'm not gonna lie, like, apparently some of the designs they came up with were asymmetrical. So apparently some of them, as it here, some of them had one side was more Vulcan or like circular style in the cells, and one side was Federation. And I'm like, no, that just looks fucking weird. Why would you do that? Why? No, that's horrible to look at. Ugh.
Oh no, absolutely.
Cool.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
And I think what they ended up going for was, for everything from the uniforms to the ship, they really did go for the ugly little tugboat that could, and I think it works beautifully.
Because I'm not gonna lie, there's a they didn't release the Cerrito in the game, but I know they released a similar. They released a similar lower deck ship in Star Trek Online.
Vancouver.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, I actually prefer that to the actual series. I like that better.
Yeah, but what you've got to think is, you like that better potentially because that is a hero ship design. That is a ship that, in the story, is meant to be an actual badass, doing proper Star Trek stuff ship. Whereas the Cerritos, again, is the ugly little tugboat that could.
Oh, okay. When I saw it, I kind of forgot. I didn't recognize it, to be honest, at all. I must have forgotten that it was mentioned in the actual show.
No, the Cerritos actually is coming to Star Trek Online.
I haven't heard that, but I'm not surprised.
It's good. It's good. I'm glad. Frankly, it's going to be interesting. So.
Yes. So obviously, again, it's something you mentioned earlier, but obviously moving on before I get to say it. Because you were talking about the original series, and you're talking about DeForest Kelly as Doctor the Bones and stuff. How you liked him. As I was gonna say, because I was about to say I do like that. I've been pushing myself to watch because I don't know exactly what the reason is, but I just never was able to get into the original series, and so I've been sort of pushing my way and sort of slowly just one foot at a time, watching each episode through one foot at a time, just trying to get through it. But also I've seen like the reboots, the reboot films first. I'm not gonna lie. What's your opinion on if you've obviously seen it, but what's your opinion on Bones from the JJ films? Because I actually like him more. I find him a lot more funnier, and I prefer him to DeForest.
Okay, the first thing that you have to note is that in the JJ films, every single character from the original series is boiled down to a stereotype of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk is a ball-breaking horny bloke. Spock is logical, but he breaks down every 5 seconds. And McCoy is just a doctor who does southern aphorisms all the time. So they're all like, and Scotty is the comedy Scotsman. They're all broken down to the absolute bare bones, funny, so that you like them, stereotype themselves. Okay? They're broken down to those absolute bare bones. And when they're funny, because they're relatively minor characters in the film, it's because people like funny more.
Okay.
So that being said, with the understanding that these characters have been boiled down to stereotypes of themselves, Carl Urban, best fucking character in there.
Okay.
Carl Urban, to me, even though all the other ones have respect for the people who came before them, even though the other ones really, really try hard, the only one of those people who feels like he's actually the character from the original series is Carl Urban. Because Carl Urban is the only one that you could argue really understands and enjoys the original. The rest of them are actors. They'll have seen it. They'll have been like, yeah, okay, that's pretty cool. Carl Urban is a fan. And when Carl Urban is a fan, Carl Urban, like, physically, in his mannerisms, in the way he stands, in the way he talks, Carl Urban is Leonard Bones McCoy. Right down to his bones, he is that character. He understands that character perfectly. He is everything about that character he gets. I think he is the best recreation of the original cast in that entire team, because none of the rest, like Simon Pegg is an awful Scotty, like awful, like he's fine comedy Scotsman, but as Montgomery Scott, no, he's fucking awful. Like, he's a comedy Scotsman. You know, Chris Pine, the first time that it feels like he's playing Captain Kirk is in Star Trek Beyond. because the director of that movie actually likes Star Trek. I mean, you can tell watching the JJ movies, JJ Abrams doesn't like Star Trek. Every decision about those movies is, I don't like Star Trek, let's make it like Star Wars. You know, let's have pew-pew lasers and fights and no philosophy and fucking hyperdrive because I like Star Wars. Let's learn from Star Wars. No. Learning from Star Wars to make Star Trek is like learning from Harry Potter to make fucking Game of Thrones. It's like, no, the two things are not the same. The two things might be in roughly the same genre of space adventure, but they are not the same. You know? So, whereas the guy who directed, I think Justin Lin was his name, who directed Beyond, absolutely 150% understood the assignment. He, for all that is still an action movie, because they kind of have to be, it's a movie that understands what Star Trek adventures are, and it has the moments that make it a Star Trek adventure. So I much prefer Beyond to the other two.
Same, I do prefer Beyond as well.
Especially since it.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
Especially since it doesn't have whitewashed Benedict Cumberbatch as Khan. Like, oh yeah, let's totally have Benedict Cumberbatch playing Khan.
I'm not gonna lie, I mean, this is me talking, but I kind of liked Benedict as Khan, to be honest.
No, okay. Did you like Benedict Cumberbatch as Khan, the character, or like Benedict Cumberbatch as the villain? Because Benedict Cumberbatch is a fantastic, phenomenal actor. But being a phenomenal actor and giving a great performance as a villain is a very different thing from being Khan Noonien Saint. So, you know, that's the place I'm sitting in, is separating out, like Chris Pine gives a very good performance as a young captain of a starship with these self-doubts. But that's a world away from being phenomenal as Captain James Tiberius Kirk.
Okay.
You know, Zoe Saldana gives a brilliant performance as a character who is a female officer on a starship in a relationship with this guy. Zoe Saldana is not playing Lieutenant Uhura at all. Zoe Saldana is playing the girlfriend.
Okay.
And it's a very reductive way of looking at it, but, you know, nothing, like these characters, they're either reduced to stereotypes of themselves or they're just not the characters. And okay, cool. So it's about separating out performances that are really, really solid, competent, or even good performances from this is not that character, and this is not how it be.
Okay.
That's just me being a pedantic git about it. So, Benedict Cumberbatch is very good at playing a menacing, terrifying villain who is cold, ruthless, and analytical and efficient for what he does, as well as a megalomaniacal bastard. But he is nowhere Khan. There is nothing of that is Khan Noonien Singh.
Okay.
That's my take on it.
Okay. I was gonna say, yeah, because when you mentioned about J.J. Abrams and the whole, like, him sort of doing, making sort of, or, like, from what I forgot from it, like you said, making, like, Star Trek, or, like, with, like, Star Wars type vibes and stuff. That's something that I saw a little while ago, and I don't know if you've seen it as well, but, apparently, as in the shot into 2009, when the Enterprise jumps out of warp into the orbit of some planet, I think Vulcan, and it's with all, like, the destroyed ships and everything. Apparently, in the shot where they got the camera looking out across the view screen, apparently they can be seen, like, in the bottom left corner, a floating R2-D2.
Oh yeah.
I did not know that until I saw that post.
Right there, that's not a J.J. Abrams thing. That's an Industrial Light and Magic thing. So Industrial Light and Magic love putting Star Wars references and stuff. So, as an example, the Millennium Falcon is in Star Trek.
I've seen that one as well. Yeah.
Okay, so that like I love that. That's freaking hilarious. You know, the fact that somewhere out there is a little ship that looks vaguely like the Millennium Falcon floating about. You know, I like that. That's really clever. You know, and the thing is, visual Easter eggs are actually it's a really clever part of CGI. You know, CGI art. You know, for the same reason that the R2-D2 is in Star Trek Into Darkness as well. He's one of the things being sucked out into space when the Vengeance blasts a few holes in the Enterprise. Yeah.
I've got to watch that now.
into space. It's like, I don't need to now! He was so young. Yeah, no, it's... Although, ironically, thanks to Star Trek Discovery, we can now say, that wasn't an astromech droid. No, that was a Dot 7. Yeah, no, that was a Dot 7. The DOT-7 just floating out in space.
Nice.
The DOT are going to have a hell of a time fixing that problem.
Oh. I love it. Oh god, that was, yeah. But I saw that post. I got a friend. Actually, no, it's Sinead who one of the person who asked you about that project thing with Katie. She takes even though she's watching Discovery right now and she's kind of even though she doesn't admit it because she doesn't like admitting it to me, she's liking Discovery at the moment. Even though right now she's got to the part in season 2 where she's got to the part where she's thinking there's a possibility that Culber, she thinks Culber might be returning. Well, I mean, she is, but he is, but she doesn't know that yet. But she thinks she might be returning, so obviously, and obviously Stamets is still there, and even though he said he was going as well, and everything else. Because I told her about it, and her being her usual self, she takes the piss and the Mickey and goes, oh, well, that obviously then means the Star Wars and Star Trek are in the same universe. Knowing how much I hate Star Wars, I'm like, fuck you, bitch. Shut up. That was annoying. But
I mean, if anything else, take comfort in the fact that the USS Enterprise could kick a Star Destroyer in a fight.
Take comfort. I've seen the many like fan videos of like the scenes taken from different things. Honestly, so, yeah, I'm aware of that.
I mean, you know, I hate doing that. Generally speaking, I hate. Let's have a comparison video between this thing and make them fight, and it's like, no, because they're two different universes, and they do whatever. If the writers wanted to write a thing where the Star Destroyer blew up the Enterprise, they would, and they'd make it work somehow. But, but you know, the thing is, like, bluntly, the only thing I ever go to is the only time I ever get involved in those conversations is like, you know, who would win in a fight, is when people are like, so and so would defeat. Speaking as a Warhammer person, I love every franchise that have ever tried. I like Halo, I like Star Trek, I like Star Wars, I like Doctor Who, but none of them would defeat Warhammer in a fight. Like, there's this guy who on TikTok, made the effort to do the research and stuff. It's like, a starship could defeat the entire Imperium of Man. It's like, for real. One. Star Trek ships do not actually have magical high technology compared to Warhammer ships. Just because in Warhammer they don't get technology doesn't mean they don't have transporters, shields. 2, there are fucking demons in Warhammer. 3, the default Warhammer setting for like defeating somebody in a land battle is, if the first 1 billion men didn't kill you, we'll send another 1 billion men. And we might send a genetically armoured freak to kill you if that doesn't work. Along with 1 billion men. Star Trek can't. One Miranda-class ship will die in the time it takes to say one Miranda-class. But, you know. Anyway. So, yeah.
So, a few more little things before I go on to like a sort of off-topic sort of thing before the end. I
probably have to pop off in the next 20 minutes, so we'll have to make this relatively quick.
Alright, I'll go onto the next little thing then. So obviously I know this, but people at home might not know. So Jed here is not only a Star Trek fan, as we've already established, but he's also a Star Wars fan, as again we've already established. But he is also a massive Doctor Who fan. So there's a few things obviously recently in the whole Doctor Who news of the universe and stuff about. I just want to run by to see what you think of them. So, first of all, did you see the April Fool's little prank that the BBC played on everyone to say that Tom Holland was confirmed to be the Doctor?
I did not see that. I did see CBeebies say that one of their guys was going to be the Doctor.
Really?
And I was all... Yeah, I was kind of sad because I knew it was an April Fool's joke the minute I saw it, but actually, CBeebies actors, for all that they're, like, doing CBeebies, that requires a certain level of, like, skill that makes them really good at what they do. Tom Holland would be terrible at it.
Yeah.
I like Tom. I like Tom Holland, don't get me wrong. Tom Holland fucking awful at it. I'm sorry, Tom Holland, if for some magical reason you ever end up watching this video, highly doubt it, but you would not be a very good Doctor Who. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Zendaya would be good. Like, Zendaya would be fucking hilariously good at Doctor Who. Like I don't even know why I think that, but like you watch her in Dune and you watch her in Spider-Man and you're just like, yeah, get me Zendaya. No, I don't care that she's American. I care that she'd be freaking hilariously good at it. It's funny. It's funny.
Okay. Now there's another thing I've heard that I split the fandom that I know. I've heard a few different opinions of. Oh my god.
Yeah, sorry, I just got called by my mum, so I need to quickly send her a text.
Okay. And that is so the thing is, obviously you've got the 60th anniversary coming up soon. And there's been rumors, stories, or there's been talk that apparently the 60th anniversary is planned not to just be like say previous anniversary, there's like a standalone like one episode film or something like that. There's supposed to be like a multi-episode sort of like thing. What do you sort of like? What do you think of that? Like a multi-doctor, multi-episode sort of thing. What do you think of that?
Russell T Davies has more than once gone on record as saying that Doctor Who has to compete now with Marvel, and that they should be doing more Marvel-style stuff. And there's nothing more Marvel than getting all these previous actors together and doing some crazy big multi-episode thing. Like if we get an entire mini that is basically like the Avengers Endgame or something, fucking Doctor. Not only is that incredibly in keeping with who Russell T Davies is and what he's been saying, like doing big, pleasing, crazy shit like that.
Yeah.
But it would be hilarious. Like there was a joke that Matt Smith and David Tennant were telling around about the time the 50th anniversary was going on, where they said, "We'll do the next series, both of us. Like I'll do half and he'll do half." And Russell T Davies now turns around and gives us a multi-Doctor series with all of the modern Doctors coming back. Fucking yes. No, give me Time Lord Victorious, but on television. Give me big, sprawling, multi-Doctor epic space adventure. Yeah, 100% do that. Like, that'd be really great. Do I think that's what's going to happen? You know, I don't know, is the honest truth. Could they do it? Would they do it? Are they doing it? No idea. Let's find out. I hope so, because that would be really cool.
Yeah, because well, I know I think, I mean, either way, like as you said, it'd be cool. It'd be cool to have the whole new Who era Doctors all doing stuff together. But I think it's already been ruled out that Eccleston isn't like coming back for anything.
He would never come back for anything anyway because he doesn't want to. He doubly wouldn't because he would never work with Russell T Davies again. Unless Russell T Davies has reached out to him and said, "Dude, I know we've said some things, or I know you've said some things, but script." And then Eccleston read it and was like, "Fuck, good script." The thing is, I could totally buy Christopher Eccleston, who has recently gone on record as saying that Russell T Davies is one of the finest writers in the country.
Yeah.
I would totally buy Russell T Davies being humble enough to go up to him and go, "I know we said some things, I know some stuff, but and then like, works purely off the strength of scripts, going, fuck, it's a good script. It's good." I could totally buy that happening. It would be fucking hilarious. Like, if you're not, especially since he's Like, it was a very un-Christopher Eccleston thing for him to say, get me in an episode on my own. I won't do multi-doc. That's a very un-Christopher Eccleston thing for him to say.
Yeah.
You know, that's a bit like it wasn't said in an up his own arse way, but the way it can be quoted is kind of up its own arse. He's not generally an up his own arse kind of guy. So I think I don't know, I could be reading too much into it, but it would be really freaking cool if they got him back for that. But you know, I think it would be really freaking cool if they got any of them back.
Yeah. I mean, unless I mean, there's one thing I saw from Capaldi there. Unless it's him just trying to, like, doing Andrew Garfield with Spider-Man No Way Home and just try and like say, oh, he's not going to be part of it until I surprise everyone when it comes. But I've heard there's been talk that apparently he's gone on like to record to say like he like after his time he said that he's done like. He's happy with what he's done with Doctor Who, and he's not gonna and he's not planning on returning back anytime soon. I'm hoping that's he's doing an Andrew Garfield there and trying to like trick us into thinking he's not doing it and then surprise him last minute. Because me personally, I would love nothing more because that's something I've always said. I would love, if it happened, I would love for 6th anniversary to have Tennant, Matt, Peter, and Jodie all in one, all together in one room. I just think that'd be fucking hilarious. Just because like I love all those doctors, and just to have them all there, just like reacting to each other, I'd feel like, please, yes. So I'm just hoping he's doing an Andrew Garfield and just like trying to subvert it and stuff.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see if they get Jodie back for the 60th, since she'd only just leave.
I hope they do. And if
I mean, it's kind of weird that if she's leaving in the centenary to then immediately come back for the 60th, that's kind of like, why not just stay until the 60th is over? But I don't know, maybe she wanted to leave with Chris Chibnall, like as the incumbent Doctor. I'm going to be interested to see who they get as the 14th Doctor. I'm going to be interested to see how they introduce that character. But I get to find out. I get to find out where they're going with it.
Yeah. Okay, I thought we wanted to say on that one, on that front. I think it may have been that. Well, if you said you're gonna have to pop off soon, so I'm gonna leave it there anyway. So first of all, to close off, thank you for taking the time to be part of this thing. Thank you very much.
No worries.
It's been a little while since I've recorded an episode of Sergeant Beckett's podcast, and I've just been wanting to do another one. For those of you who, after watching this, thinks that Jed is a pretty decent guy and you want to see where you can watch more of his stuff, I will link everything from Jed in the description below. That being his TikTok, his YouTube, and all of the above, and anything else he has.
I'll send you my link. I'll send you my link tree.
I'll link his link tree in the description so you can have a look at what he's got on there, so that you can have a look, see all the amazing stuff that he's done. All the amazing stuff that he does, because I've only seen snippets of his like Doctor Who fan films, and I know that he's done work with me on like Star Trek audio series, both like in his own audio series, the Star Trek Venture, and my one, Star Trek Morningstar. But he's just the work he does is wow, and well, he's a lot, and well, I'm a lot younger than he is, and so anything I do is, well, probably 10 times anything I do is not as good as anything he does. So
it's up. You'll not be down with it. Okay, so let me be clear here. Anything about my work that is better than the work you do is purely down to the fact that I am older than you and I have more experience. So I've had time to develop my work. Okay.
My point exactly.
Okay, but that is the only difference.
Yeah.
And I would not be working with you if I didn't think that by the time you get to my age, you'll be on my level. On some way at my level. Okay. Mainly because I do not have time for people who I don't think are going to be any good. Like, I'm old. I don't have time for shit. So, yeah.
All right, cool. Well, thank you for that. Well, with that all said, and if you want to see anything more from me, you're on my. If you're watching this anyway, you're on my channel, so you can see more of me anyway. If you want to see more of me from other places, then I have a link tree of my own, and down in the description with a multitude of different links, so you can go and have a look as well. And so yeah, so without being
to quote the great Peter Capaldi, or to misquote the great Peter Capaldi, don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Sergeant Beckett YouTube channel.
Oh, yes. But yes, on that note, thank you all so much for watching this video. So thank you, Jed, for being a part of this podcast episode. If you liked it, please leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel. Again, if you'd like, in the description, links to both our link trees in the description, so you can have a look at everything that's been done. Thank you again for watching. I shall see you all in the next video. Adios.